Hey, Tony Gaskins here, just popping in. Been a little bit. I was at the beach writing, and y'all got to forgive me. You know, the sun in my face, but my wife got me this new 3 or 4 step skin routine, so it got my skin kind of a little interesting, a little dewy, a little glowy. Feeling like a little fish. So y'all got to forgive me. But I was writing and got a good book for the Blessed Tribe and Blessed Business Tribe and the Patreon. About 500 people pre-ordered it. I posted the instructions over there on the community page for the Blessed Tribes and the Patreon. So got enough support. I said if I get 500 pre-orders, then I'll go ahead and write the book. If not, then I'll refund the pre-orders and we'll let it go. But I'm gonna be knocking out a lot more books going forward, and just all different topics, stuff that I struggle with, stuff I struggle with, lessons I learned just from real life. It's kind of like, God inspired the Bible, and so parts of the Bible was like a recording of what they saw happen, like in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. But then in other books of the Bible, it's like some teaching, and really it's God-inspired wisdom. So the Bible will hopefully never be rewritten, but the same way Apostle Paul received a word from God, the same way Solomon received a word from God, those of us who believe in God and walk with God and are sensitive to the Spirit, we receive a word from God in our own way. And so what I'm going to be doing is putting out those messages. And it might be a 20-page book, 50-page book, 250-page book. But I'm going to be putting out those messages and not doing a bunch of crazy promotion, because it's something a little different. A lot of people write their books and they're telling their story, they're sharing their wisdom. On average, I've heard people say a year, take them a year. I went to a book release for a pastor. He said he's been working on his book 5 years. Well, in the way I write, I wrote this book Sunday afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, and a little bit Wednesday morning. So I wrote this book in about, say 24 hours worth of writing, and it's a complete work. It's the same way I wrote Make It Work, if you have read that book. The same way I wrote A Woman's Influence, Mrs. Right, Single Is Not a Curse. So I write my books differently. So because I write my books kind of like in a flow with the Spirit, I don't overthink it and overplan it and put too much of me in it. I just let God speak through me. So it's very practical. It's common sense. It's not all these numbers and all of that. So I'm gonna be pumping these out. The Lord might give me one a month, and I'm gonna be obedient, and I'll just put it out, put it on. I may promote it for a month, and then just mention it every now and then, and then the next book may be coming. And the thing about it is, that's not how you publish a book today when you want maximum sales. But I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for the sales. It's really for the body of work. It's really for legacy. Just like a prophet has no honor in his own country, the living have no honor while they living. Living prophets don't have honor while they living. We really don't start to dive deep into people work until they dead and gone. So it ain't really for while I'm living. It's more so for when God calls me home. I got this body of work, and as my name is circulating, and my oldest son is carrying my name, those books will be discovered, and the revenue from those books will go to my sons and to their company, their trust, or whatever it is, and it'll see its greatest sales when I'm in heaven. And I share that just to say this don't just have to be my blueprint. And I notice a lot of times as humans, we make a big deal about ourselves and we want to be celebrated. And it's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with celebrating. Nothing wrong with a release party. It's nothing wrong with all those things. But you also got to understand the season of work without praise. Because sometimes there's a season of work without praise to where you just do the work and there is no pat on the back. There is no party. You just got to work. And so we come into those seasons sometimes, and you got to understand that season. So I say that to say, I'm gonna be as the Lord give it to me. I'm gonna steal away, and Patreon and the Blessed Tribes, y'all really helping make this possible because of your support. I'm able to steal away for a week, go somewhere, knock out a book, put that book out, and I really appreciate that. My goodness, something going on with this sun right in my doggone face. My goodness. So back at it, and I know when you do YouTube, you're supposed to be a robot. You're supposed to just do everything, all the videos supposed to be sensational and trending topics, but no matter how bad I try, I can't be a slave to money. No matter how bad I want to, no matter how bad I try, I cannot be a slave to money. I cannot be a slave to an algorithm. It's like, I know what you're supposed to do. I know you're supposed to grab this catchy title, 5 reasons, 3 reasons, 7 reasons, 7 tips, 5 tips. Have your thumbnail, have your description box full, have your keyword tag. I know what you're supposed to do. I teach it in my YouTube course for those who want to do it. But if for some reason I just cannot, I just got to be in my flow. It's just not my personality type. And I've been warring in the spirit. My brain has been on a loop. So it'll be one little thought that come to me, and that thought will just torment me all day. And I gotta pray. I gotta just rest. I gotta have affirmations. I gotta life coach myself. I've practiced talking to a therapist in my mind. I already realized when you operating on a spiritual level, a therapist ain't gonna know what to do. Therapists ain't gonna know what to say. They're like, well, how do you feel about this? They just be asking questions because a carnal mind can't understand the spiritual things. And so I already know that. But I say that to say because somebody who watching this, you in a battle, you in a struggle, and you going through some things in your mind, your spirit, your body, maybe. You going through something and it's frustrating you. It make you angry. You just wonder, God, why me? You wondering. You rolling at night. You waking up in the middle of the night. All this stuff I've been through, so I know what it's like. But sometimes we get a message. And when you get that message, you got to share that message because not everybody may hear the same message or get it the same or at the same time. And what God is saying is, be still. Rest. Telling you to rest in Him. Don't worry. Telling you that these thoughts that you thinking and the things that you feeling, it has no power over you unless you give it power. Telling you to rebuke it, not to speak it into existence, to speak against it, and to believe that no matter how you are warring in the spirit, that you will win, that you will be victorious. And you got to be prepared for that. And you got to believe that. And I'm going through this practice of evaluating where I'm speaking from. And so what that means is evaluating where I'm speaking from, and then also evaluating where I'm thinking from. And so what the adversary wants to do is the adversary wants to cripple you with fear. The adversary wants to cripple you with doubt, cripple you with anxiety, with depression, worry, all of these things. And the reason being is because if you induce stress into your body, then you can have a miscarriage of what you're supposed to be giving birth to. And so you have to be mindful of this. And this way you got to be prayerful, and you got to understand what the enemy is doing so that you can give birth to that which you were called to bring forth. And you got to take action. In the midst of your scarcity, in the midst of your lack, in the midst of your pain, in the midst of your anxiety, your worry, your depression, you got to take action. You have to activate. Even though you don't feel like it, even though you cannot see a way, you have to activate. Because in that activation will be your elevation. Because according to your faith, it will be done unto you. So if you allow everything you thinking and you're feeling to cripple you, then you never take steps in faith. And if you do not walk by faith, you will not arrive and you will not receive that which is for you. So you have to be okay with activating in the midst of your pain. And as you activate, you will elevate. And the pain will then be alleviated. And when I say alleviated, meaning that you will have peace in the midst of the storm. It may not go away. What you're feeling in your body, in your mind, your spirit, it may not leave you, but you will be given a strength to run with it, to war with it. And victory will be yours. And that's a part of the story. That's a part of the testimony. And that's what you have to understand. So go in spite of. After you have sat and you've been still, meaning be still. When I say be still, I don't mean don't take action. What I mean is peace, be still. In the raging winds and the stormy weather, peace, be still. Meaning, even though you are moving, you are going, and it is tumultuous, you have to have a peace within your spirit. And you have to know that you will arrive on shore safely. So, understand that the greater that which you are to bring forth, the greater the attack. That whatever you're feeling, it is a direct representation of how great it is that which you're going to give birth to. I would imagine even the humans, the great humans that were born out of pain and not comfort. So think about that. Be mindful of that. And I'm praying for you, encouraging you, sharing my own struggles with you, with the hopes that it will inspire you and you will find the strength to keep going. And it's Tony Gaskins. God bless you. We'll talk soon.